Hi guys, my name is Fleming Johnson and this is my very first YouTube video. Therefore, I'm likely to make a terrible presentation as this is for the very first time I'm doing this. So my apologies in advance. In this video, we are going to talk about comparison between specular workflow and metallic workflow and how to convert a metallic workflow map into a map which support specular workflow. There is not much difference between the outputs of a specular workflow map and metallic workflow map when they are applied to a 3D model. Well, both of these are acceptable to the latest PBA workflow which is widely being used by the CG industry today. So let's watch them in detail. There are mainly 4 maps in metallic workflow: base color map, ambient occlusion map, metallic map, roughness map. So the first one, base color map. The base color map technically contains both diffuse and specular map information. Simply speaking, base color map will give you the color information about the entire mesh. Next one is ambient occlusion map. Ambient occlusion is a shading and rendering technique used to calculate how exposed each point in a scene is to the ambient lighting. And what does that mean? It is simply showing the pits or grooves in a mesh. So more deeper the pits or grooves, more occluded it will be to the ambient light. So more darker will be those areas. Next one is metallic map. Metallic map determines how much of the base color map is interpreted as diffuse output or a specular output. The more metallic an area on a map is, the more it will have reflected color. Next one is roughness map. As the name indicates, roughness map simply gives the information about roughness of the model. Now let's talk about the specular workflow. So in case of specular workflow, there are mainly 3 kind of maps. They are diffuse map, specular map, and glossy map. So the first one, diffuse map. The diffuse map strictly affects the base display color of the material. This has no effect on other material properties such as reflectivity. The next one is specular map. Specular map reflectivity is controlled by the specular map. Specular map controls both reflection of the color and reflection level or value. Next one is glossy map. Glossy map is actually the inversion of roughness map in metallic workflow, since the roughness map, because this roughness map will give you the information regarding the roughness, then the glossy map will give you the reflectivity of the model. Now let's talk about how to convert metallic workflow maps into specular workflow maps. Now I will show you how to convert the maps in metallic workflow to specular workflow. So for that, first of all, I've already loaded the base color to the Photoshop. Now let's add the ambient occlusion map over the base color map. They must overlap actually. Always rasterize these layers. Hold shift and select both of these layers and turn normal to multiply. So what we have here is a combination of both a ambient occlusion map and the base color map. Let's merge these layers for the convenience. Merge layers. Now let's add the what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a specular map. So what is a specular map? Specular map is a map which gives the color and reflectivity information only for metals or something which have metallic property. So let's do it. For that, first of all, let's add the metallic map to the scene. Okay, metallic map to the scene. Just like we did for ambient occlusion, these two layers should overlap. These two images should overlap exactly in the same position. Now we have a metallic map. Now I've already told you the metallic map is something which distinguishes the metals and non-metals. Then how it is distinguishing the metalness and non-metallic properties? It's simply giving the value 1 to metals and the value 0 to non-metals. So in here the value 1 corresponds to white and the value 0 corresponds to black. So wherever this you can see the white in the map is the areas where there is actually metallic property. So what should we do? Always rasterize these layers. Select both of these and multiply. So what happened in here is the value 1 get multiplied with the base color, and those areas got the color information, and the areas where there is the value 0 in the metallic map get multiplied with the base color and get eliminated. So what is this now? This is the specular map. So let's save this as specular map in JPEG. What's wrong? Yeah, I'm saving them in here. I've already made one there. That's called specular1.jpg or replace. Okay, so we successfully made the specular map. Now we want to make diffuse map. So diffuse map is just the opposite of specular map because it will give the color information of the diffuseness of the material. So how can we do that? Nothing else, just invert the metallic map. Adjustments, invert. Now it's an inverse metallic map because it will give the value 1 to non-metals and the value 0 for metals. So let's do it again. It's already multiplied, and just multiply it. Now we have this diffuse map. Now let's say this is diffuse map as a JPEG file. There's already one. I'm overwriting it. Okay. So we have successfully made the specular map and diffuse map. Now we want to make the glossy map. That is so simple. Let's add it. Let's add the roughness map to Photoshop. Delete these. Otherwise, just okay, fine. Please rasterize. Don't forget to do this. Okay, then just hide it. Oh, that's not necessary. Okay. Now what else? Nothing. The roughness map is actually the inversion of glossy map because the roughness map will give the value 1 for roughness and the value 0 for reflection. Then the glossy map will give the value 0 for roughness and the value 1 for reflection. So what we have to do? We have to just invert it. Select it and just image adjustments, invert. Now we have the glossy map. Save as JPEG file. I already made one. Or writing it, and that's it. We have made both we have successfully converted our maps from metallic workflow to specular workflow. You can see this in here: diffuse one, glossy, specular. And that's it. That's the end of the video.